Over 6 Star Wars movies, there have been a huge variety of force powers, with each film adding more than the last. With so many force powers shown in the films, it's kind of hard to believe they've barely even scratched the surface. Here's my top 5 badass force powers that really weren't showcased in the movies that might have been cool to see. Battle Meditation. Obviously, being trained in the Force already means you're amazing enough to kick ass whenever you want. But in the days of the Old Republic, the Jedi and Sith were at war with each other, before the rule of 2 was even a thought. So when on equal footing with an army that's just as well trained as you need to find some sort of advantage. And so was born Battle Meditation. Increasing the morale and fighting spirit of allies while also causing uneasiness in the opposing force, this force ability was strong enough to be used with entire fleets, providing the user was strong enough to maintain it over the period of the battle. Notable users who used this ability to turn the tides of battles and shape history were Bastila Shan, Darth Caedus, Wara Domat, Leia Organa, and of course Yoda. It can literally turn the tide of a battle, turning a hopeless situation into a victory. Maybe if Yoda had used this on Geonosis, the battle might have went a little more in the Jedi's favor. Force Speed. Being able to use the Force to augment your body to run at unseen speeds sounds like a dream come true. Yeah, I know, sure. Before all of you go opening your mouths, trying to point it out, I know the ability was used in Episode 1 on the Trade Federation ship by Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan when they needed to escape the destroyer droids. But after that brief glimpse of power almost all Jedi and Sith alike wield, it was never shown in the movies again, therefore making it on this list. George Lucas not portraying Force Speed in his films could have been for any number of reasons. It could have been because he thought it made the fights look silly, or feel non-threatening because of the ability to dash away anytime you want in the face of a threat. Or maybe Lucas thought that because Luke and Vader weren't dashing around in the original trilogy that it wouldn't represent his vision of the Jedi. So in light of him realizing Force Speed was not the way to go, he decided to take the next logical step possible. Let's add Jar Jar Binks. And so was born the most hated character in the entire Star Wars history. Power! But whatever the real reason is, this would have been really nice to see more of, and probably would have helped the heroes in a lot of bad spots in the movies. It's too bad it wasn't added on to the rest of the trilogy. Force Augmentation. Have you ever taken steroids, kids? Because Force Augmentation is basically steroids on crack. Disclaimer, taking steroids may or may not give you Force Augmentation powers. Do not try this at home. To channel the Force to improve your speed, strength, reflexes, and dexterity is Force Augmentation in a nutshell. Using the Force to improve upon your natural abilities would make the best Force wielders unstoppable, especially with the proper training. Now sure, in the novelizations it is stated that the characters do enhance their abilities when they are fighting. However, the movies don't really give a clear indication of them doing this, which is why I have put this on my list. This skill was learned early on for both Jedi and Sith alike, although at an early stage, you didn't have much to augment as you were still in practice and didn't have much ability to go off of. The more trained you were, the more you had to augment, so generally speaking, the better you were without it, the better you would be with it. Also, from a movie standpoint, using real actors makes portraying this Force ability almost impossible, as it would rely heavily on using CGI for the majority of lightsaber fights. And I think there's enough CGI in the prequels for everyone already. Still, it would have been nice to see a much more intense fight between Luke and Vader, as it was written in the novelization. Destroying/disabling droids. Just as the ability says, Force users channeled the Force to destroy the inner workings of a droid from within, ultimately obliterating it, or at least disabling it, making it not a threat anymore. If any Force ability would have been useful during the Clone Wars, it was this one. Though using this ability consistently would have made the Clone War battles go a lot quicker, it's still a mystery why they didn't use this more, given that their main adversaries were an army made up of droids. I think Grievous may have voted against this one. Force Repulse. A Force ability used so much in the Force Unleashed video game that it's almost impossible to think that is entirely left out of all 6 movies. Channeling the Force within to an extreme point, bringing everything around you closer, then releasing all of that energy at once in a violent push all around you. You can imagine that takes a lot of Force strength, and that can drain any apprentice Force user extremely quickly. But Force ability akin to Force Wave that takes that much power should only be used by skilled Jedi Knights or above. This Force ability would have been useful in the movies in all those situations where you can just hear, "Master, I think we've been surrounded."
Don't move, Jedi.
Sending debris, parts, and droids flying would have made amazing scenes like the Battle of Geonosis even better, and made it a lot more intense. Were there any Force powers that you would have liked to see on the big screen? Do you agree with the decisions to keep some of them out, or maybe all of them? Let me know in the comments, and remember to like and subscribe for more content coming to a galaxy near you. And remember, may the Force be with you.